Welcome back to The Lost Pages. This is episode 3. I am joined by my homies, Haku and Novum. What's good, guys? How you feeling?
How's it going, guys?
Yo, pretty good.
What we're going to do today is we're going to have a discussion. A discussion about what Kingdom Hearts 2 was missing. A lot of people treat KH2 as if it's this perfect specimen of a video game. And while I do love Kingdom Hearts 2 and I have played it literally more times than the save files allowed me to have save files for, right? I will tell you that the game is not perfect, right? So one of the main issues that I think we can all agree with is that Sora has a lot of movement, yet there's no part in the game, at least in vanilla, for him to use any of this movement. So Haku, I kind of want to hear what you have to think. Like,
it's really strange because in KH2 we're giving so many more options that it almost takes away from like some of the time it used to take to like walk around like the world and stuff, you know, like you're just like you move way faster and cleaner in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is great, but at the same time you're also tearing through levels like way faster than you would in the first one, you know, so you're just not even taking time to like look at any of like the set designs or like look for like any interactions. You're just like moving as fast as you can, basically. Like I think that has a big part to do with it, aside from mainly just a different philosophy in world design. You can tell because Kingdom Hearts 1 has just all these great little unique interactions in each of the worlds, and they're just completely absent from KH2.
Yeah, so I remember, you know, being young and playing vanilla KH2 and maxing out final form, and the glide is so strong, even level 3 glide, and it's like, where do I even use this? And I remember going to Altar of Naught, the final thing right before the final boss in World That Never Was, and you start flying around and you'll be hitting many barriers, and it's like, you know, it's cool that I have this ability, but I can't really use it anywhere useful. You know, it's just it's really overkill. It's just overkill for the base game. Absolutely.
No, I agree. It's just super
aside
overkill.
from Cavern of Remembrance.
We'll talk about it because it's in the game. It was added in FM, and it is the only place where any of these movement abilities make sense, right? Because they're not really necessary like they were in KH1. KH1, you kind of needed them to actually get through the game.
Yeah, like high jump, you can't even access a lot of places without high jump.
Right. Yeah. There's a necessity in Sora's movement that does not exist outside of the Cavern of Remembrance. So we're in KH2, the only place that you can use any of this movement is the Cavern of Remembrance, which is ridiculous. Like, yeah, you can glide from one red line of the map to the other red line of the map for the transition to the next part of the map to glide through the entire thing. I mean, you're pretty much gliding through everything. I mean, when you get maxed out Sora, you just turn on final form, start floating everywhere. Like, that's literally the game, right? And so it kind of trivializes the world design, which doesn't exist in my opinion. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but I want to get to that. So Kingdom Hearts 2's world design, right? It's basically a bunch of the same rooms with a different texture. Now, I don't care how they're shaped, right? But it's the fact that functionally, none of them feel unique or memorable. Like when you're playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and you're in Wonderland, right? And you're in deep jungle and you have the hippos, right? And you have the trees. And in Wonderland, you have the potions that change your size. Think about the amount of interactables that are in pretty much all of the worlds. Right. Dude, the postcards. Like that level of collecting, games that are platformers do need things to collect. Like that's just... If you don't have things to collect in your platformer, what's the point of even giving me all this movement? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to find secrets. Kingdom Hearts 2 has no secrets to find.
Are the Dalmatians
you know what I mean? Like,
in Kingdom Hearts 2? I can't remember.
No.
They're not, huh?
I don't think so.
That's such like a nice...
No Trinities either.
Yeah, no Trinities. The Trinities are so...
Dalmatians.
That's such a sad absence. It's always something I wanted them to bring
It's tragic.
Back.
It's super tragic.
It's like a Metroidvania
honestly.
thing, like seeing like a red Trinity on the ground and being like, I can't do this, oh well. But then it's stored in your brain, and then you unlock it later, and then you can come back, and it's just this satisfying like aha moment. Like Kingdom Hearts 2 has none of that.
But yeah, I agree completely. Like the lack of Dalmatians, the lack of Trinities, we're just missing all the essential features that the game needs to feel like KH1. And I feel like people, when they play KH1, they're so hyper fixated on the combat, right? And they're like, oh my God, it feels so slow. Oh my God, the camera. And I'm like, brother, listen, if you want to go play Devil May Cry, go play Devil May Cry, right? But this is a platforming action RPG. And I didn't want to bring up Kingdom Hearts 3 in this video at all, but it does have platforming in it, right? While you do have an overpowered flow motion, there is platforming in that game, and it is clear that KH2 is the anomaly here, because BBS, Birth by Sleep, 100% has platforming.
True.
Like, that game has platforming. Dream Drop Distance, that game has platforming. Days has KH1 worlds too, by the way. Like, the KH1 versions of certain worlds. There are so many games in Kingdom Hearts that exist. We have so many games, right? The one game that just doesn't have any meaningful platforming is Kingdom Hearts 2. I'll tell you that right now. Like, that's just true. It's just true. Chain of Memories does not count. That's a game where you're literally making the rooms as you go. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the one game that just is absent of these features. So, sorry for taking up all the airtime, but let's talk about the immersion, right? Like, the lack of immersion in Kingdom Hearts 2. And I want Nobin to go first, because I feel like you got some stuff to say.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about how, like, I go Beast Castle or like Mulan. These worlds, you know, like we said, it was like a place with textures and music playing in the background. But I think about a place like the Courtyard, of how big and flat and empty it is. In fact, a lot of the maps are like that. And you don't even have to think about the layout of a map in KH2, but in KH1, I'm thinking about Hollow Bastion. I'm thinking about what you call Traverse Town. I'm thinking about Alice in Wonderland, Tarzan. Especially with Hollow Bastion, the switches for the elevators, freezing the bubbles, and you know, you don't ever have to do something like that at all in KH2. Nothing like that comes to mind.
And it's crazy that I think it was Haku here who might have made it public that you could freeze the bubbles. Was that you?
I was first on the scene. At least on YouTube, I was the first one to drop that news. Yes.
Yo, that's crazy to have the legend.
I dug up that fossil like an archaeologist, like years after the fact. I mean, this must have been in like 2019 or something, right? Like
no, even before that.
Before
2016.
I think it was before that, because we've known each other for 10 something years.
Yeah.
Like, we've known each other for a long time. So I remember when you had discovered that, and everybody was talking about it. Like, everybody was talking about it.
Back then, we didn't have trophies or a need for like 100%ing the game. So now that we start looking up guides and stuff like that, you know, we want to get all the chests and the journals.
Right.
We're like, wow, we could do that.
And it's crazy.
It's just like environmental interactions. Like, there were certain boxes that were high up that you would have to use gravity to like lower. There's a lot of puzzle solving in the world that allows you to go back and forth and open up this area to access that area. Trinity marks.
You can freeze all the little fires in Olympus.
Oh yeah.
And then you get a
same thing with Traverse Town. The candles.
Yep.
You smack the candles in the beginning and it only blacks out 1 or 2 or 3, but you can never hit all 4. And you're like, what do I do? And then Blizzard keeps it out cold. Yeah. You know, for the whole duration that it opens up.
Yeah.
Like, it knocks them all out at once.
It's crazy, man. Just so many things that Kingdom Hearts 2 just doesn't have, right? That you're thinking, man, that was so cool in Kingdom Hearts 1. I can't believe that they just completely omitted it, right? And I feel like they were going a different direction. You know, obviously the combat in Kingdom Hearts 2, I will tell you, is far more entertaining, right?
It was a clear focus. It was a clear focus. Every time I put that game on after how many years, you know, I'm just like, damn, this feels so good every single time.
No, it does feel good. It does feel good. I agree. And it's like, you know, I feel like there's not many games at all that really feel like Kingdom Hearts 2, you know, to play. Just the movement upgrades for Sora's combat specifically, what they do for his combat, right? His abilities that give him more to his combo, right? That progression feels way crazier than any other game that has anything like it. While Kingdom Hearts 2 doesn't have any Metroidvania elements, I feel like Metroidvania elements in general should be in every game that you can move in. Like, I don't care if it's a turn-based game. I don't care if it's a platformer. I don't care if it's an action RPG. I don't care if it's Dynasty Warriors, right? I don't care if it's like a card game. Like, give me something to remember, to go back to to do, right? And so, yeah, I mean, there's so many things that make KH1 immersive, right? That KH2 just
Here's
doesn't
another
have.
one. Do
Go ahead.
you think that there was a world that you would consider like a hub zone, like Traverse Town in KH1? Like the closest?
No.
No, not really.
No, not really. Not Twilight Town.
No,
'Cause
it wasn't.
The
yeah.
Moogles are everywhere. If
Yeah.
I needed to buy something, the Moogles are in every world, right?
Yeah.
Hollow Bastion was supposed to kind of be another marketplace, but they both have marketplaces. So it's like in KH3, yeah, I'll tell you, Twilight Town is the hub in KH3. It's very obvious that that's where the cooking is. When you need to cook, and critical when you're fighting the bosses, you might need to cook. It just depends on who you're fighting. And if you really want to get that little edge without feeling like you're cheating, it gives you that tiny little edge, right? But we lost that hub zone in KH2. You're completely right.
Yeah.
And that
This-
in an RPG is essential, in my opinion.
There's multiple times, you have to go to a world and then you come back, go to the world, be it upgrading the gummy ship. Then when you come back to Traverse, you got like Blizzard. Keep on going further and further down the line. Eventually, you get the warp drive and all that.
Right.
Sid is always there. When you unlock a keyhole, they always give you some new gummy as well. And another thing I want to talk about too is it's crazy how much more noticeable things are like defense stats and elemental resistances in Kingdom Hearts 1 on Proud Mode is way more like necessary than in KH2, because KH2 you could do level 1 and it's
Sure.
not really, there's not like a balancer for that. You just gotta dodge and block perfectly and it'll be like action game, which is
Yeah,
cool.
no, it is
But
cool.
I do like in KH1 you're gonna get hit because Sora is so much less mobile. And so you got to think and prep and put on the right accessories early on. I don't know, is it like Ifrit's Horn or something that would have some sort of
Yes.
elemental resistance?
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
And so you could take like that fire resistance and go fight Cerberus, And even the bosses in the Olympus Coliseum, the way Sora moves opens the gates for like a bunch of different boss fights. You think about Phantom, you think about Ice Titan. There's no boss design like that in KH2
It's
where
true.
Ice Titan is this hulking giant. You can't really reach the thing. You don't have reaction commands in KH1, so we can't press triangle and cut off the Hydra's head to the Ice Titan,
Yes, of course. You can't do
Yeah.
the Twilight Thorn thing where you reversal towards his face. Like,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
do any of that. While those reaction commands are cool, my main issue is that they kind of trivialize the fight that they could have designed with a little more intent, right? Because like I'm just reversaling towards his face and smacking him in the head. It's very cool in Final Xemnas when you're doing that, and he's doing all these crazy saber attacks and spinning and flying in midair, and you and Riku are just going at him. There's a lot more epic, like actual epic fights. Like obviously in KH2, KH1 has much more magical Disney floaty, like oh my god, like that's what KH1 feels like. It feels like a musical experience almost. Like it's much more theatrical
I mean,
in
when do
nature.
you even unlock Super
right?
Glide in Kingdom Hearts 1? Is it like,
Like,
at
that's-
the
When
very
you kill
end after you beat
the volcano.
Chernobog?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like literally at the end of the game.
Yeah, and there's only one flying KH2, and it's like the fastest one. And you can get that whenever you get final form.
Well, yeah, level it up, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's level 1, level 2, level 3, and then max.
it's crazy. It's just crazy. Like KH2, I love the drive forms, right? And KH1 doesn't really need them. You know what I mean? Like you never are really looking for that thing. Like I'm not ever going back to KH1 and going, man, I really wish that it had this one thing from KH2, because it feels like it's supposed to feel, right? And when I'm playing KH2, I'm thinking, man, I can't believe that there's nothing like this, where it's like, oh, I'm fighting the Trick Master and I'm a tiny little boy on a giant table, right? And I'm deflecting fire with my Keyblade and I'm teching experience, right?
Yeah.
Like Waka, the ball. I'm just thinking about times where like I'm using just Sora's core moveset, because his core moveset is built just so beautifully. There's just so much in what he's doing that's not based on the fact that he's swinging his Keyblade faster or jumping higher. Like it's, he gets stronger in KH2.
Evil simple things like the large bodies in KH1 prove to be like an obstacle early
They're
on.
an
even in
obstacle
Proud Mode,
because
for
you're,
example.
yeah, no, 100%.
KH2, they're surfing around the place, but you have triangle to, solve that. Now, I don't hate reaction commands entirely because there's cool ones that you could screw up, like dual stance with
That's
the
true.
samurais. You know,
Those are cool. The ones that
Um,
take over your command menu are super cool.
there are reaction commands that can screw you over. Like even Demix, for example, when you do a little dancing thing with him.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you time triangle wrong, it'll like one tap you. Gotcha now. You know. But yeah, like Heartless design in KH1 as well. Behemoths, Invisibles, Angel Stars.
They're so cool. I feel like they took a lot of the swag from like the end game Heartless and put it into the Nobodies and didn't give the Heartless as much love because they didn't know where to put that end game swag. Because like obviously the Nobodies are supposed to be much more imposing and the main threat of KH2. It's not the Heartless, right?
Yeah.
And of course that kind of subsides as time goes on in the series.
It goes
and
back to the Heartless.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, it was just different Heartlesses that you had to deal with differently. You know, we didn't have to press triangle to
Right.
like, we had to jump around the large body, or later on you end up using gravity that would flatten them. The bigger the enemy, longer HP bar, I believe gravity would do like more damage to it. It was a
Yeah.
percentage base. And then the other thing that it's not in all the Kingdom Hearts games, but it's the Keyblade length and the counter stat that isn't really displayed well, but it is just explained in the description. Early on, when you have the base Keyblade and you attack a large body, for example, Sora will hit the stomach and he'll bounce backwards and almost like fall. There's like 3 levels to counter. So there's one where he's almost gonna fall, so he has a bad recovery. Then there's one where he taps it and he's like standing still. And then there's another one where he's like, he taps it and he's able to like hit with a counter attack again afterwards until it just goes through. And Ultimate Weapon has the best counter stat. And throughout, there's different Keyblade options that will fit either a magic build or the fighting type, and also jumping in the air and trying to hit like the aerial enemies. If you have something like Fairy Harp, which is like a really short Keyblade, it's not going to reach. But Ultimate Weapon or like Metal Chocobo, for example, they have like long reach and stuff like that. In KH2, the Keyblade thing is never a thing, like because you really do stick to your targets at the very least, but it's not really something you think about. And by the end of it all, everyone ends up using Pumpkin, Decisive Pumpkin, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, it's true. Because it has the combo finisher. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. And what I'll say is I'm incredibly impressed by your ability to orate and remember so much detail. Like with such structure. I mean, that's like a skill that you have. That I lack the ability to just go through and churn out information like that. I'll tell you, me approaching a large body in KH2 is not really a problem ever.
It's not a thought. You don't think about it.
You don't even really think about it. You're like, oh, I either can jump over this dude because I can just jump really high, right? Or, or I could just use my reaction command and slide on this dude, right? Like, there's so many ways to approach enemies in KH2. And I'll tell you this, after everything that we've said, right, Kingdom Hearts 2 still stands on its own because it's still doing so many things different and it still does its own vibe. You know what I mean? Even if it is missing the platforming, even if it is missing the immersion, it is a completely different experience. And I do think in its own right, it's a masterpiece, right? But obviously, when I think about comparatively which experience I prefer, it is the more deliberate platforming experience that is more immersive, right? And I see some of that DNA into small moments of Kingdom Hearts 4 that I've looked at, right?
It's like the core design of KH1, when I play through that game, it makes me happy every single time seeing all the elements come together. Whereas KH2, I feel like the combat they knew was the strong point, and the vanilla game, I kind of now just autopilot through until I get to the final mix portion of things. And because they knew that's, the combat is where KH2 shines. And so all of the design for that comes out with the data organization fights.
Oh, yeah. And that's
KH1,
legendary.
I don't feel like it even would have needed a final mix because I think the base game is a nice package,
Yeah, the final mix doesn't really add a lot to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're completely right. KH2 100% needs the final mix. Like, if you go back and play vanilla, every time I have new people come to me and say, hey, I'm starting Kingdom Hearts for the first time, actually I have people who are playing it originally, like on their PS2. They want to play it like as it was. And I'm like, brother, listen, I'm telling you right now, you want to play KH1 is fine, right? I know they added some camera improvements. I don't really care about that because I played the game when it came out, right? But KH2, like, you definitely want to play Final Mix for KH2.
Oh, and I always like wanted to say this, but if people really look at it, and I don't know if you could put up footage of this, people will say they don't like the platforming of KH1, but if you really look at it, there's a lot of platformers in games that have like inertia, and I've been seeing this brought up more and more recently, and I love Elden Ring, for example, but like when you jump in games like that and you land and your character takes like a step forward or something, or like they slide a little bit, many platformers have this. KH1 has a very sticky jump. When Sora lands, he like plops onto the spot and sticks there. There's no slipping or sliding or falling off.
That's true.
And I don't get that from many platformers, and I appreciate that about KH1. If people say clunky platforming, I'm just thinking probably the camera is probably giving them an issue. But besides that, even ledge grabbing is really nice in that game.
Right.
Works really well, you know?
Yeah, and I don't want to say the platforming's not clunky. Obviously, people are thinking about platformers like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
And even games like Jak and Daxter, where you're literally like sliding around and jumping, and you slide into a jump and then you get more momentum. Like, obviously the gameplay loop and the gameplay in general is built around this. And maybe, just maybe, Square at the time thought, hey, we don't know what we're doing in the platforming department. Let's just focus on the combat, right? Because if they looked at the other platformers, they would say, man, those are actually platforming games. Now, while Sora does jump up and land, like, it's not very graceful in KH1. And I think, like, what I really am thinking about is how they would have improved it if they stuck with it. Because what they did was they made a really, Sora feels really good, right?
Yeah, but it was an afterthought.
Exactly.
And Nomura had a vision, and you look at the secret ending of KH1, he wanted to go down this very, and we love it. We love like the over-the-top edgy combat. It's not like crazy, like spammed with effects, but there's a lot of elegance to Sora's movements and stuff in the final form. Really clean. Real clean.
And that's one thing that KH2 excels at, is just making like all the movements look so beautiful and making him look like so powerful in every single transformation that he does. Like, he just looks like, he's not the one to play with. That's what makes it feel like he just has so much aura in KH2, right? Where in KH1, obviously he's a novice and he's just figuring it out. You can feel the difference in his experience between those two games. But of course, like, he doesn't even remember Chain of Memories. So he's like, literally the first thing he mentions is like that he fought Ansem and defeated him, right? But what I want to say is, if you have anything else to say,
there was the early KH1 demo trailers that showed Sora fighting the giant black artist. I keep on forgetting the name.
Darkseid?
Yeah, Darkseid. And in the early demo footage of him in Destiny Islands, you could see Sora like jumping and climbing the arm, and that's like sort of the concept, like the Shadow of Colossus-esque sort of thing. Like, there's no climbing mechanics, but I mean, like, they want you to platform on his arm to get to his head.
Right? Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah,
and it's all manual.
Yeah,
like, you're not doing it with like a special button. You're literally using the mechanics that the game has. The jump button, right? You're pressing circle, and it was unique because Sora was pressing circle to jump and cross to attack.
Yeah.
So I just think, it's a unique game. It will never be replicated, but I would love to see, there's a game coming out called Duskfade. Shout out to Duskfade. I'd love to see more games come out that are inspired by Kingdom Hearts 1 specifically, and not just Kingdom Hearts 2, right? Obviously, there's a vibe, but I think what I want is for somebody to make their own story with that vibe. So thank you so much for coming to this episode of The Lost Pages. This is episode 3. Check out finalweapon.net for all things everything. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.